do you need a disaster recovery plan? The short answer to that, in my opinion, is yes, you do. What I'm talking about is whether or not your organization would suffer a total data loss. Now, a lot of people seem to think that a disaster would be like a fire or a flood or something like that, some type of natural disaster, and that is possible. But what seems to be more typical these days are other types of disasters that are maybe not quite so obvious, like a virus. Over the last probably 6 months, I have witnessed organizations, probably I think 3 or 4 of them, that suffered a total data loss due to a virus. Now, they were partially prepared, but not totally prepared. So here's a couple of things that might happen. You need to make sure that you're backing up on a regular basis. You need to make sure that you're testing those backups, and that is critical. And that's a step that a lot of people don't think about. You need to keep your backups off-site, whether that's in the cloud or physically off-site. And you should have, like I said, a test restoration process. And you can work with your CPA firm, your IT company, if you have an outside IT, to work with you on that restoration process. So one of the examples that I saw recently was a company that thought they were backing up every day, but the backups were not kept off site, and furthermore, the backups were actually saved on the network. Whenever they got hit with a virus, that virus went through their entire network and also infected the backup. The most recent backup that they had that was off-site was about 6 months old. So that organization had 6 months worth of data to recover. And let me tell you, that was a lot of data, and it was very expensive for them to recover that data. So, these things can happen, and they can really happen to anyone, and they can happen more and more. And even antivirus programs aren't necessarily stopping it. Because if you have a lot of people in your organization and somebody clicks on an email link that they shouldn't, then that can trigger the virus, and it'll fly through your organization, and you're done. One of the other things that I presented in the note that I published yesterday was about having an off-site area where you can restore your data and actually function and operate. So what that might look like is, again, your accounting firm, your IT firm would actually have an identical setup to yours on their server. And you would test that setup. So whether it's once a week, once a month, whatever the case may be, you would take your backups and restore them on that offsite location, on that offsite server. Assuming that everything goes well, you've had a successful test, then you're in good shape. You need to make sure that you follow other procedures, again, talking about off-site and those types of things. So that if you do have a total data loss, you can go to the off-site area, restore that data, and literally be up and running within the next day or two. So that is pretty much kind of what I want to go over. Again, do you need a disaster recovery plan? I say yes, you do. If you don't have one, you need to look into it. You also need to make sure that you are backing up your critical data. And I'm not talking about just accounting data. I'm talking about any kind of data that you may have on your system that is important. Data related to your clients, your operations, anything, Word documents, all of it. Make sure you're backing it up.